Wasn't that an interesting story about Jean Mallin and his troubles with Mr. Bulbul? It's interesting. Sometimes, well, maybe not so much anymore, but traditionally, back when I was a child, and maybe when you were a child as well, wisdom was considered a linear thing, something that increases with age. So adults were considered to know more than children. And I think that this story is a great illustration on how, even with all the experience and the money and the education and everything that the lady had, she still did not have the insight that the young orphan boy had of her life. And so this is a great reminder that we shouldn't look at wisdom as a linear thing just because someone has a higher education or just because someone has lived a long time doesn't make their wisdom any more valuable, any greater than somebody who is just a small child. Everybody has a different perspective and a different way of looking at things. Last week, I mentioned that beliefs come from thoughts. Well, that's sort of the truth. Beliefs actually are formed based on many different factors. And a big part of what we observe is our past experiences. As we enter a new room full of strangers, we will notice the things that remind us of things we've already experienced. This is a psychological thing, and you can certainly look it up. There has been quite a number of research on how observation and memories are formed. So as we observe the things that remind us of other things that happened to us in the past, remind us of other experiences, we dismiss or overlook things that we might not be familiar with at all. And this is the reason why sometimes eyewitnesses to a crime will have a completely different account of what actually happened, because everybody notices the things that are already in their consciousness, as opposed to the things that are new to them. And often people will string thoughts along. Well, I used to know a person who had this kind of a haircut and that haircut, and this person was like this, and because of that, then this. And so we have this broken logic sometimes. And it's interesting when we have an irrational thought or a reaction to something, it's interesting to examine where that actually is coming from. And if you train yourself in that, you can actually go back to the beginning and think about, as a child, what were your beliefs about that thing? What was it that caused you to draw this conclusion? When is the first time you felt that way? All those things are clues to discovering what belief system is governing that particular reaction. And additionally, a person with a lot less experience than us has a purer way of looking at it because they have less things to compare things to. So they're looking at things with an open mind. So sometimes it is definitely worth listening to children or people who are young and lack experience, because they have a completely different perspective on things. And even the same problem can seem completely different in their eyes. So for this week, I think I would like to encourage you to look at people who are unlikely sources of wisdom and see if you can discover some new ideas, new thoughts, and new wisdom from them and their experiences. Enjoy.